My name is Pano Roditis, and I am the director of LYDIA.
I am Diego Martinez Campos, and I am playing Claudio. My character Claudio is the father in the family, and he is a broken man. I will say that much.
Yeah, the script really, it's centered around a household of a familia that you can't really call a familia. There's lots of dark secrets, there's lots of things that aren't told, and that's where LYDIA comes in and kind of cleans up the mess and brings things to light.
In Claudio's life, at the beginning of the show, he's very stationary, and I would describe Claudio for much of the show, not just for the beginning, as somewhat numb. There's a certain degree of numbness in Claudio's life. So I would say at the beginning of the show that sense of numbness is introduced.
And then just as a general backdrop for the show, obviously I don't play a character, but to kind of contextualize the show, this takes place in the late 70s or the 1970s, towards the end of the Vietnam War. So around 71, 72, the draft is still in full effect. However, it is going to be shortly postponed. And as well as the border issues are starting to rise as well with immigrants coming over.
Yes, Claudio goes through a major shift in his character for sure. I will leave it up to the audience to whether or not they think there's a resolution for him, but certainly there's a shift. What my character wants the most in this play is closure. Both Claudio and I are Mexican immigrants. I connect to that element of being in a territory that is foreign to you, culturally, politically, linguistically. We differ in a way that he's an extremely violent person. He disregards other people's boundaries.
I think Misha is the one that jumps to mind the most. I identify with his kind of naivete. He's young, he's kind of unaware of a lot of things. Despite all the sadness in the world that he's highly aware of because he goes to school, he is still yet a hopeless romantic in many ways. And he is quite the source of light and hope in the play in my mind as well.
I have enjoyed very much the collaborative approach to the play. The guidance that Pano has given us, it's really, really magical in a way. It's truly, truly artistic, and yet there is so much. I mean, there's already an artistry in the script itself. So to see Pano's vision match that artistry, it's been a joy. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just working with such great artists and my cast members, I really try to take a very collective approach to how we tell the story and get everyone's opinions and insights in, especially because, again, there are many spots where, the reason we hire the actors, right, is to do that job. And there are many areas that I just don't have experience with, particularly, for example, being a woman, being a Mexican immigrant, for example. A lot of these insights get brought into the play that help me flesh out the story as a whole and let us all come together to tell this story as a cohesive whole. And I think that has really come to light. I feel us all very much in sync. And there's some great moments during rehearsal where I think something will happen and then we all collectively share the same audible emotion. And it's such a beautiful moment because we're all in tune, we're all in sync. So that's been the most exciting part of the process for me.
I believe people should come see the show because theater is a way to say the truth, to speak the truth. And I believe there's a lot of truth in this play that reflects past and present truths some of those truths I connect to as an actor, as a person. So I do believe there are elements that will resonate and hopefully evoke a sense of awareness, consciousness, potentially a call for action for some audience members.
This show has a very important message, in my mind, particularly for the Latinx community. I think there is certain aspects of it, and again, not to generalize everyone as a whole, but there is certain cultural values that I believe are harmful and that need to be slowly worked away and worked out of the culture. And I think this play tackles a lot of those aspects head on and in a way that is uncomfortable, but it's the type of discomfort you need to see to move forward and get that closure and get that catharsis.
For me, this piece stands out in many ways, really, in many ways. First one being the first bilingual play that I perform. Most of the work that I perform in the past is only in English, theater speaking. So to have a play to which I can connect through the language itself, it's outstanding. It feels great. Yeah, I would say that's one of the main ways in which this piece it's outstanding. I mean, the material itself is, of course, it's dense, and that feels another aspect, but primarily the language, having that sense of dualism has been super interesting.
Well, for me personally, this will be my first time directing kind of a full-scale production, so it very much stands out in that way. So not only in that, but again, just the words. The play is very poetic. Octavio Solis is a fantastic writer and writes these metaphors and similes and this imagery that, as the people are talking, it really has a visceral reaction with you, and at the same time, it doesn't lose the magical aspect of it. So it really stands out as quite an amazing piece of work. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Come see the show.
Please come see the show.
Absolutely.
Theater's back, baby.
Yeah.
Come check us out. We're in person. We're here.
Yeah, we are.